Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining me. My name is Shane Phillips, and I'm from Dell Technologies. And today we're going to talk about AI adoption in the mining industry. How can we take this technology out of the glossy brochures and turn it into real, repeatable value on a mine site? Think of this session as a practical roadmap. By the end, you'll be able to avoid the proof of concept prison. You'll be able to understand how to build an AI center of excellence that actually moves the dial, and how to spin up an ROI flywheel that keeps the funding for the next wave of improvements. A lot of the world are still in the dark about Gen AI and how it can drive double-digit growth in mining and natural resources. My aim today is to shed some light on the topic and help people identify some use cases, adoption patterns, and things that will help them avoid the POC prison and create that flywheel to define a business-first AI program with a clear 90-day action plan that you can implement. What I'm showing you today is the structure that we use in some of our workshops, so you can see how a 90-day plan would actually come together. Think of this keynote as a blueprint, if you will. The next step is a hands-on session where you, inside your own organization, would be putting some of this work together. Mining is part of a broader asset-intensive pattern, and these numbers that I'm about to share with you are relevant benchmarks for all of you. These insights are from IDC's April report research, been done across asset-intensive industries, including mining, manufacturing, utilities, and transport. Mining is not the outlier here. Actually, it sits right in the middle of this research. When you see efficiency and revenue uplift that are not just from tech companies like us, but ones that include mining operations, modernizing maintenance, asset planning, and safety workflows, that's what really drew my attention. Gen AI adoption is accelerating across these industries, with 55% of the organizations reporting multiple AI-enhanced applications currently in their production. The asset-intensive sectors are prioritizing predictive maintenance. Cost optimizations are the top two real use cases. For example, in mining, that really looks like optimizing the whole truck maintenance, processing plant uptime, and energy and water use across the mine sites in particular. These initiatives aim to improve operational efficiency, reduce downtime, and enhance asset lifecycle management. Also of note, industry-specific vendor applications with embedded AI have delivered significant improvements in core operational processes for 71% of the respondents, underscoring the value of tailored solutions in the mix. Asset-heavy industries are experiencing strong momentum in Gen AI adoption, driven by the need for predictive maintenance, asset performance optimization, and always cost reduction. Spending on Gen AI and AI initiatives is increasing steadily from 2025 to 2026 as organizations realize a measurable return on investment. Companies are investing in AI development tools, compute infrastructure, and data management capabilities to support bespoke AI use cases. These trends reflect a strategic shift towards leveraging AI for operational resilience and efficiency. Despite all the promises of AI, several challenges hinder widespread adoption in asset-intensive sectors. The high GPU or graphic processing unit and software costs in the cloud for scaling Gen AI enhanced applications remains one of the most significant barriers. Organizations also face a shortage of skilled talent, governance complexity, and risks related to data and intellectual property control. Add to that regulatory compliance and ethical considerations, and you're further complicating these implementations. And then additionally, many organizations overestimate their actual maturity in AI, with 68% believing they are ahead of their competitors. This can really lead to a false complacency and an underinvestment in these critical capabilities. To maximize Gen AI's potential and AI's potential, organizations should prioritize high impact use cases such as predictive maintenance and cost optimization. But of course, safety is a big one. Leaders must also balance the build versus buy decision, leveraging industry specific vendor solutions where appropriate to accelerate deployment and reduce the risk. Strengthened governance and compliance frameworks is absolutely essential to mitigate bias, privacy breaches, and regulatory risk. Investments in talent development and infrastructure will enable scalability and long-term success. Finally, exploring agentic AI for decision support positions organizations for future advancements in the autonomous operations. Generative AI is emerging as a strategic enabler for asset-intensive industries, offering opportunities to enhance operational efficiency, reduce costs, and improve asset reliability. The organization should focus on ROI-driven initiatives, ethical AI integrations, and readiness for next-gen AI agents. By aligning technology investments with business objectives and fostering cross-functional collaboration, leaders can ensure that successful adoption and they get sustained competitive advantage. The AI adoption is accelerating across these industries, with over half of the organizations deploying multiple AI applications in operations and decision-making. The reported benefits include a 34% increase in operational efficiency and a 28% uplift in revenue from the initiatives. Priority use cases such as safety, predictive maintenance, cost optimization, and asset performance management are directly aligning with the mining industry's safety and uptime objectives, especially with meeting our fatality-free and production reliability targets on each and every mine site. By moving from pilot projects to scaled deployments, enterprises can unlock significant value. They can reduce manual intervention and enhance decision-making speed. A mine AI factory style platform, such as the work that Dell and NVIDIA are doing together, provides the secure, compliant, and scalable foundation that your Center of Excellence needs to enable this transformation. Ensuring secure, compliant, and cost-effective implementations are ongoing. What is an AI, Global AI Center of Excellence, I hear you say? It's a cross-functional leadership team or team of people that guides how your organization uses AI in real practice. An AI CoE brings the business, IT, risk, finance, legal, operations, mine site leaders all together to set the direction, govern the use, and decide which AI solutions are adopted and how they are deployed. You actually get to see the real business value while staying safe, compliant, and sovereign by design. AI has to be run as a global CoE, not local experiments. Seeing the global CoE at the top of the slide there, sitting above the whole framework, with actually the lines moving, as you can see, the flashing lines moving across the pit and into the control room. Those are sort of me trying to reflect what I've learned the hard way. If each site does its own AI projects, if you will, you end up with a zoo of tools, AI spaghetti, conflicting models, and a workforce that stops trusting the next digital promise. This matrix is set and gets three things right for a real CoE, in my opinion. It is global and cross-functional. It spans the main key things: safety, maintenance, operations, and business. These are the four pressure points that keep a mining exco awake at night. And it's tied to outcomes, not tech at all. It's tied to fewer incidents, higher availability, more throughput, faster decisions. These are exactly the levers that we need to move so that the profit and loss and the safety dashboards all zoom upwards. Now, this is above but connected to the operations visually. The CoE doesn't replace line accountability. I want to be clear. It standardizes and enables, but it doesn't replace it. In practice, the CoE owns the playbook, the platforms, and the talent. But the mine manager, the maintenance superintendent, and the plant manager always and will continue to always own the results. The mine AI factory bar across the bottom there, with applications, servers, network, GPU, MPU, CPU, storage, and data, it's exactly how this has to be built if we want to move beyond pilots. Day to day, we live with these things, fragmented FMS, plant historians, geology models, ESG systems, with all the different tags, all the different connectivity gaps between the pit, the plant, and the office, and then cyber constraints, especially when we try to push anything into the operating technology environment. Being very blunt about this, actually, no shared data platform, no AI scale. You cannot run serious digital twins, computer vision safety, or predictive maintenance models on spreadsheets and USB sticks. You need a governed data backbone that reconciles body information, fleet, plant, and business data, and industrial compute and storage that can handle high frequency sensors and imaging. You need a secure pass into control rooms and fleet OEM stacks so models don't die or get lost in someone's PowerPoint on where they put it last. Most mining AI failures, to be honest, that I've seen were not actually bad algorithms or things like that. They were just weak mine AI factories. The concept of the ROI flywheel in an AI center of excellence is designed to transform enterprise AI initiatives from isolated experiments into a compounding value engine. And this approach really emphasizes creating a repeatable model that accelerates return on investment by leveraging each success to fund and enable the next success. For Chief AI Officers and CoE leadership, the goal is to establish a practical framework that aligns AI strategy with measurable business outcomes. By positioning AI as a foundational capability rather than a series of disconnected experiments or projects, through this model, organizations can achieve sustainable growth, operational efficiency, and risk mitigation. The overarching message here is that AI maturity really requires deliberate design, governance, and platform thinking to avoid common pitfalls, such as the proof of concept prison, where a lot of projects get stuck. They stall after POC due to unclear value or escalating costs. By adopting the ROI flywheel, enterprises can create momentum, reduce deployment friction, and build trust across the stakeholder community, ultimately transforming AI from a cost center into a strategic driver for enterprise value. Enterprise AI has shifted from being a peripheral innovation to a core strategic priority, yet many organizations really struggle to achieve consistent returns. A significant number of initiatives remain trapped in what is often, and I've done it several times myself today, POC prison. Recent studies actually indicate that 30% of generative AI projects are abandoned post-POC, underscoring systemic challenges in translating ambition into impact, let alone the cost. Conversely, organizations that industrialize AI through standardized platforms and governance frameworks report outsized ROI of over 270% in the first year alone. These figures highlight the compounding effect of a structured approach, where, to be honest, early wins accelerate subsequent deployments and generate the reinvestment. The tension between high expectations and operational friction is a reality for most COEs, making it imperative to adopt strategies that prioritize scalability, governance, and measurable outcomes. By acknowledging these dynamics way up front, leaders can frame the need for an ROI flywheel as a solution to break free from fragmented efforts and unlock sustained enterprise value. AI Center of Excellence are evolving rapidly from innovation labs focused on experimentation to actually strategic business engines tasked with delivering measurable business value. This shift is driven by rising expectations from a diverse set of stakeholders. Let's start with the CEO and the CFO. They're demanding clear financial outcomes. The Chief Information Security Officer and the legal teams, they require robust governance and risk management, while the CIO and the engineering leaders and operational leaders seek reusable platforms and patterns to scale efficiently. The emergence of the Chief AI Officer role further underscores the strategic importance of AI in enterprise transformations. To meet these expectations, COEs must adopt a design philosophy centered on repeatability and impact, moving beyond ad hoc projects and skunk works to a structured model that compounds success. The ROI flywheel concept addresses this need by creating a continuous cycle where each successful deployment accelerates the next, supported by standard platforms, governance frameworks, and talent development, most critically. This approach not only enhances operational efficiency, but also builds organizational trust, enables broader adoption, and sustained investment. By framing the CoE mandate around value creation rather than experimentation, we can position AI as a foundational capability that drives growth, resilience, and competitive advantage for the corporation. The AI ROI flywheel is a strategic framework designed to transform AI adoption into a self-reinforcing cycle of value creation. It consists of 6 connected stages: commit, prioritize, standardize, execute and measure, scale and reinvest, and my favorite, strengthen the foundations. At its core, the flywheel ensures that each successful use case not only delivers measurable return on investment, but strengthens the organization's data, governance, and talent capabilities, that therefore making subsequent deployments faster and more cost-effective. When the flywheel spins efficiently and effectively, enterprises experience compounding benefits: reduced time to value, lower cost per use case, and increased stakeholder confidence are just a few. This model emphasizes platform thinking, where standardized infrastructure and processes replace fragmented one-off solutions, the AI spaghetti I mentioned earlier. By institutionalizing best practices and codifying patterns, the CoE becomes the catalyst for enterprise-wide transformation rather than a bottleneck. The flywheel approach aligns technical execution with business strategy, ensuring that AI investments translate into tangible outcomes such as revenue growth, operational efficiencies, and risk mitigation. Ultimately, the ROI flywheel provides a roadmap for scaling AI responsibly and profitably in your enterprise, positioning your enterprise CoE as the strategic enabler for long-term enterprise success. The 6 stages I mentioned of the ROI flywheel represent a structured progression for AI maturity as well. Recall our CoE, global CoE work streams: safety, maintenance, operations, and business. So stage 1, commit. This involves treating AI as a foundational business capability and not some technical toys, with clear top-down sponsorship and alignment to the enterprise's actual business strategy. Stage 2, prioritize, focuses on the high-impact use cases through an agreed scoring model that considers business value, data readiness, technical feasibility, and executive sponsorship, things that really move the dial of the business. Standardize is the third one, and this sort of shifts the organization from bespoke solutions to a unified AI factory platform encompassing data integration, GPU-optimized infrastructure, AI frameworks, and governance patterns. Stages 4 and 5, execute and measure plus scale and reinvestment, emphasizes rigorous instrumentation of ROI metrics. If you don't measure it and you don't realize it, it's not going to happen. You've got codification of successful patterns, and then the reinvestment of realized benefits into the acceleration of adoption as you go along and scale. Finally, the stage 6, which is my favorite, is strengthening the foundations. This really addresses critical enablers such as data quality, the governance frameworks improvement, but talent development to sustain momentum. Each of these stages builds upon the previous, creating a compounding effect that reduces deployment friction and amplifies massive returns. By operationalizing these stages, the centers of excellence can move beyond isolated wins to establish a repeatable engine of value creation, ensuring that AI becomes a strategic driver rather than just another cost center. Now let's just talk about platform decisions for a sec. Platform decisions in AI are not merely technical. They are actually financial strategies that directly influence the ROI velocity in your enterprise. Economic analysis by ESG and Omdia reveal that enterprises deploying an AI factory can achieve up to 1,225%, 1,225% return on investment over 4 years, enabling early reinvestment and accelerated scaling. Key value drivers include time to production. Sometimes that's up to 3 to 12 months faster than the DIY alternatives. Operational efficiency gains from automation and infrastructure consolidation, and significant productivity uplift among your knowledge workers. Additionally, on-prem AI factory deployments can offer cost advantages over public cloud for certain large language model workloads, further enhancing the financial outcomes. These economics underscore the importance of standardization and platform thinking in the ROI flywheel model. By minimizing technical debt and optimizing resource utilization, organizations can maximize the spin of the flywheel for every dollar that they invest. This approach transforms AI from a discretionary expense into a strategic asset for your business, reinforcing the case for deliberate platform choices as a cornerstone for enterprise AI success. A practical illustration of the ROI flywheel in action involves starting with a small portfolio of high-impact use cases, such as internal co-pilots or customer and staff engagement agents. We actually did this inside Dell, and it made a big difference. For our support teams and people that are helping the customers when they have a post-sale support issue, we have a thing called Next Best Action as a GPT, and it has made a significant difference to our business and the customer service that we provide. For the front-end sales staff, we have a thing called Sales Chat. And what Sales Chat does is enable us to know actually what the company knows. I know that sounds different, but when you're a global organization, there's pockets of information everywhere. And it's very hard when you're facing into a customer to know exactly where it's going on. And sometimes to prepare for a meeting, it'll take you 2 or 3 weeks to gather all the information over a period of 3 or 4 hours. Whereas now we have a generative pre-trained transformer where you can put in a lot of it and you can get 80 to 90% score. It's AI generated. You have to have a human review, but it's really making it efficient for us to be able to prepare and do meetings and presentations such as this one with the help of our co-pilots. So by developing these on a standardized AI factory platform, organizations can accelerate time to production and achieve early ROI, which is then reinvested into expanding use cases, also the data domains, and new automation capabilities. Over a 3 to 4 year horizon, this approach transforms AI from a cost line to a profit and productivity engine. To make this model actionable, we run interactive mapping exercises, and you should do this as a follow-on workshop after this event. Get your participants to assess their CoE stream, so safety, maintenance, business, etc., against the 6 flywheel stages, and this will create questions. And these questions such as, which use case offers the best ROI potential for my stream? Where are the governance and data bottlenecks slowing our progress in this stream? What do we have to do? These will guide the discussions and turn the framework into a concrete plan. This collaborative activity helps identify strengths, identify gaps as well, and priorities, culminating in a 90-day action plan. It's a 90-day sprint Suggested actions may include standardizing on a single AI platform. It might be instrumenting top use cases with key ROI metrics, or aligning the CoE charter with enterprise KPIs as an early doors one. This hands-on approach ensures that the flywheel concept translates into tangible steps tailored for your organization's context. For 2 years now, John Rose, our global Chief AI Officer and CTO, has been helping me and the team with our own support of AI adoption plans for some key mining clients. His words to me were, advocate for business-first strategy in enterprise AI, prioritizing business outcomes before technology decisions. Organizations should always anchor AI initiatives in measurable business transformation and defined return on investment, not just in the technology capabilities. Successful business-aligned AI projects generate enthusiasm and lower resistance for further transformation, the flywheel effect. Beware, starting with technology first can result in costly, ineffective pilots with unclear value, damaging internal partnerships for the future deployments of AI. Active, ongoing communication and alignment between business leaders and technical teams and day-to-day operational people are required for success. Okay, here we are. It's time for you guys to adopt. These are templates you can lift straight into your own planning. If you do nothing else after today's session, run a meeting where you will fill these out with your own owners and dates. Feel free to take a screen capture or a photo and grab these. Here's the actions one. And this one's next steps. And you don't need anyone's permission to start here, right? Identify your key business objectives, map your current AI projects to these outcomes, and be honest with which ones you think belong into the stop, fix, or scale bucket. Okay, remember the CoE owns the playbook, right? The platforms and the talent. But the mine manager, the maintenance super, and the plant manager are the ones who own the results. Set up a workshop in your own business and get things happening. Hoopy helped me turn this into a Hoopy Explains. Your POC wins, you have a reality check and your costs go out so people get stuck, and the AI factory comes in, you get the flywheel turning, and then you get this break-even point, and then you're just making hay from there. Okay, now that the night shift is over, I sincerely hope that you've been able to understand why now, identify with what, and can begin to apply a working CoE program of success within your own organization. I believe Miko from BHP summed it up nicely at the GRX session in Perth last week. In his opinion, the future of AI in mining won't be defined by how much we experiment, but by how effectively we scale what works. Just have a look in the red down there. You'll see define the real operational bottleneck, build for production, not pilot, reuse data models and components, platform thinking, standardized data and application stack. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And thanks for listening to me. Please feel free to scan the QR code and contact me at any time. See ya.